Allegedly, there's a clause in Alex Pereira's contract that if he beats up Jamahal Hill fast and without an injury at UFC 300, he will main event UFC 301 against Ankalaev. What I think about that, why it might be a mistake, in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
So Alex Pereira quickly became the fan favorite with only a few fights in UFC, already won belts in 2 weight classes, and is now defending his light heavyweight belt for the first time at the UFC 300 against Jamahal Sweet Dreams Hill. So that's a fight that could go quickly because they're both knockout artists, they both have a lot of power, or it could be a grueling kickboxing or maybe even the MMA fight that maybe Hill takes him down, but it could be a very grueling long fight, right? And Alex Pereira allegedly, from sources, has an official clause in his contract that says if he beats Hill fast without injuries, anything at UFC 300, so like if his body is ready for UFC 301, if he could get ready for that, he will headline UFC 301 against Magomed Ankalaev. Now there's a few points in there that I don't like and that don't really make sense. Let's take the obvious first. So if we believe that narrative, if that would be true, that would mean that Magomed Ankalaev needs to prepare, make a training camp for UFC 301, but is not guaranteed a fight until the UFC 300 card.
This is number one bullshit.
So if Pereira at UFC 300 loses or gets injured or whatever, that means Ankalaev just did a camp because UFC 301 is 3 weeks after 300. And training camp is much longer than 3 weeks. So he did 3/4 of a training camp to then find out he doesn't fight. Or is there another opponent? But if there's another opponent, he also has to do a training camp in advance. And if Pereira then gets through Hill easy and can fight Magomed, then the other guy who did the training camp can't fight.
That's f***ing illegal.
You know what I mean? Of course, you could make him a backup then, but especially if Pereira can't get through Hill, which is a possibility. Hill is a phenomenal fighter and no easy fight for Alex Pereira. My prediction will still come. That means Ankalaev is just standing there like, hey, thanks for the training camp. Maybe you get a little bit of money and that's it.
I have tax to pay and I have a leave to live.
Like, I just don't really get the whole logic behind it. I think it's just too complicated to make sense. It doesn't really make sense for me from the UFC side. But also on the other side, it's never good to look past an opponent. And you can say, hey, maybe Pereira is not looking past Hill, blah, blah, blah. But you can't have another fight lined up if you get through your first opponent quickly and say you are not looking past it. You're officially looking past it. And I get that Pereira wants to headline a card in Brazil, his country and everything, but it just doesn't make too much sense to me. First of all, Hill is a striker. Ankalaev likes to strike as well, but is a very good wrestler. And even Ankalaev said it will be a stand-up fight. You never know.
You don't want to know.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who say, I will not shoot, and then they will shoot. So he has to prepare for 2 different styles with only 3 weeks after the fight, and I just can't see Pereira getting out of that Hill fight completely undamaged. I can't see that. Pereira is not famous for beating people up without taking damage. The only fight he ever won without taking damage in the UFC is against Sean Strickland. Otherwise, he always took damage. Always. Time-wise, I don't think it will be possible for him to make a healthy comeback at 301. I don't think it's smart for his legacy, for his career, because for a guy like Ankalaev, who's such a tough puzzle to solve, you want to have a full training camp dedicated to that guy. That's so important. You don't want to put your belt and your legacy on the line like that. Of course, hey, if you win against Ankalaev then and against Hill, both in the time span of 3 weeks, you are the absolute superhero. You are the face of the UFC after that. Like, that would be crazy. There's a lot to gain, but there's also a lot to lose. You could win a belt or defend the belt and lose a belt in the time span of 1 month. That's a lot to lose as well. You know what I mean? You can bring the example of Tyson Fury when he fought Ngannou and had the fight against Usyk already lined up. It's just not smart. It's never going well for you. And I don't say because of that fact he can't beat Hill, but it definitely will not help him in the pursuit of beating Hill. And if you go in there with the mindset, I have to finish him fast, you might go off from the game plan, from the smart approach of the fight, and just look for the knockout in every single shot you throw, which, as we all know, is not smart and mostly doesn't really end in a knockout for you, mostly in a knockout for the other guy, so he knocks you out, because if you search for a knockout, it normally doesn't come.
I'm coming!
It has to come naturally. And I am really not sure if he even gets through Hill anyway. So this is my opinion on the whole topic. Write your opinion in the comments. Do you think it's a cool idea, smart idea? Do you think it's absolutely stupid? Write in the comments, guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. I would appreciate that. Don't forget to buy the Bloodsport merch, bloodshop.net, link in bio. Stay bloody, guys. And until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.